That very moment was the second I said, no more lies. I'm done with lying. I'm done with thinking that it's okay to even do that. The world tells us that it's okay to say a little white lie, that it's even kind to bend the truth a little to spare someone's pain. But is that really the truth? What is even a lie? And what does God say about it? If you've struggled with honesty or even wondering what true honesty is, and you're trying to align yourself more to your faith, this video is for you. I know that I have lied before in the past. I'm not trying to say in any way, shape, or form that I was a compulsive liar or anything before, but it was more of saying little lies here and there, like saying I didn't want to go somewhere because I was working or I was busy, or lying in a way because I didn't want to be honest with what was going on with my personal life or with anything like that. So I would kind of use lies to say, no, I'm doing great, when I really wasn't. But did you know that a lie also means promising to do something for someone and then not even fulfilling it? Did you know that the enemy was the very first to lie to Eve in the garden, to say everything's gonna be fine if you eat the fruit, you're not gonna die? Or also to 1/3 of the angels in heaven, saying that he can be greater than God. Pride and lies were the first weapons of the enemy. So it says in John 8:44, because there is no truth in him when he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it. In that verse, Jesus was saying that the enemy was the father of lies. So when we lie, very hard to hear, but it's kind of like we're the child of the enemy, because we are the child of lies. Someone that I never would want to associate with. In the Bible, there are many verses, like in Proverbs 12:22, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. Or Leviticus 19:11, you shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. That is why we need to be very, very careful with the words that come out of our mouths, because it also says, Proverbs 21:23, whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from troubles. Or Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So what does the Bible say is a lie? The Bible is not like the dictionary where you're gonna find word for word, this is what a lie is, but the way that they kind of define it is a false statement made with the intent to deceive. When I came back to my faith almost 2 years ago, thanks to God, I started all the way from scratch basically. I thought about the way that I dressed. I thought about the way that I acted. I thought about the way that I spoke. I thought about the way that I felt. And one of the things something that we always have to be careful of is our mouths, right? Luke 6:45, Jesus himself said, for out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. What did he mean? That means that whatever comes out of our mouths comes from our hearts. So at that very moment was the second I said, no more lies. I'm done with lying. I'm done with thinking that it's okay to even do that. And from now on, I want to speak words of truth, words that encourage and uplift others, not deceive them. During the times that I was telling these lies, not to others, but more to God, I was showing him that I felt okay with deceiving people. But now that we are children of God, that means that we are a child of the truth. God is truth. John 14:6, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And it is one thing speaking truth and then speaking truth to hurt others. God says that we must speak the truth in love. If you realize that the words that are coming out of your mouth are the truth, but they're just filled with cruelty and hate or pride, God doesn't appreciate that. God is going to be offended because we're offending others with our words, regardless of it's the truth. God is also a God of wisdom, so we must be wise in those moments when we need to be truthful. A huge example, I know that we are probably all guilty of this, is if someone asks you, do you have any plans because next week I want to invite you to a party or invite you to a get together, and in that moment you think, I don't really feel like going. we probably say, oh, we can't, we're busy, right? When in reality, we're not busy, we just don't feel like going. That is a lie that we didn't think, oh, it's just a little white lie, it's no big deal. But I guess in that moment now, if it's somebody that you're close with and you know they won't be offended if you tell them the truth of saying, honestly, I don't feel like going, I hope that that's okay with you, and they are over it and say, yeah, that's fine, then you can do that. But if they're not, then you can say something in the lines of, can I let you know the day of if I can or can't make it? And then you text them, hey, I won't be able to make it today, I'm so sorry about that. And they'll say, yeah, that's fine, it's no big deal. Instead of just blatantly telling a lie saying, yeah, no, I can't, I'm gonna be busy, you know? So what do we do in a scenario where we don't want to lie? We can either stay silent, we can either tell them this isn't the right time for me to mention anything or talk about it, if that's okay with you. But if that situation doesn't align with either one of those two things of staying silent or, you know, explaining that that's not the right time, then you can always ask God for wisdom to speak through you, again, because you don't want to hurt anybody, right? Telling the truth as Christians isn't always easy because you don't want to offend anybody, you don't want to hurt anyone, you don't want to come off as someone who doesn't want others around because you're going to be blatantly honest. But it is definitely a way that we show that we are a child of God. So normalize just truth spoken in love, with God always leading the way. If you enjoyed today's video, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you get notified every time I post. That really helps me out if you want. And let's walk this journey together. I love you all. God bless. And thanks so much for your time. Bye.